This is Georgia Banks for Boxing King Media in association with theboxingking.com. Today, I am delighted to say that we are joined by Umar Sadiq, all the way from over the pond in America. Has anybody in America asked you if you know the Queen yet, or have met the Queen?
Not yet.
Not yet? Oh, that's surprising. I'm really surprised.
Oh yeah, I'm laughing because I could actually imagine them asking that. So we grow up with a lot of American TV and a lot of American media. So I find that we have more exposure to American culture than they do to our culture. So a lot of what they think are based on assumptions and little glimpses that they get. So some of the questions they ask are a bit out there and just like, no.
Like
what? Just like, I don't know, there's are certain things, like, is it weird driving on the other side? And like, well, if that's how I grew up, then it's kind of normal. But like, they talk about teas and stuff all the time. Like, they assume that everyone drinks tea with biscuits and crumpets and that sort of thing.
I love a crumpet, but not with a tea. I'm not actually a hot drinker. I'm like the worst northerner.
Wow.
I can't stand hot drinks.
Even here, I want hot drinks. I drink tea even when I'm in LA.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean, I just love, I like the warmth. So anything that makes me feel warm is nice.
Other than drinking tea, how have you been?
I've been good. I say good as can be. Yeah, I've been training, which has been great. Not much has changed from how I live in the UK because I spend half of my days in the gym. And then other than that, I'm just, keeping life together, managing things and keeping in touch with people and, watching boxing videos. Or sometimes I might just want to chill out and watch something that doesn't require mental stimulation or whatever. And then occasionally I see some people. But yeah, man, it's good. It's good. I'm enjoying it.
Congratulations on your win in Mexico. How did that come about? Because I don't think Uncle Frank is too happy with you.
No, he's not. I'm just going to speak. Because I'm really fed up, really, is what it is. But so after my fight in September against Chudinov in Russia, I had a headache. And I just figured it's my first time ever fighting a 12-rounder. First time I've ever been stopped in my entire life. I'm waiting to get drug tested, so I'm waiting to pee. And I've got a headache. And I was like, I'd like to get this checked out just to make sure I'm all right. So precautionarily, I stayed there. I didn't say that word right, did I? Precautionarily. I don't know. Anyway, I had the test. And then after I said to my team, can we go to the hospital and get a brain scan? So we went off my own request. And of course, my team were like, well, if you think so, we definitely should go and get one. So we go and get one. And then it comes back that I've got a hematoma, which is a bleed to the surface of not the brain, but the tissue that goes over the brain. So it was a little one that I had. But even then, still, the Russians were like, oh, we just want to keep you in for checking because it was on a Friday night, the fight, when I had the test. And then the physicians or the brain surgeons or whatever, the people who worked in the neurological department of the hospital only worked Mondays to Fridays. So having a test on a Friday night meant that no one's going to be in until Monday. And so the hospital wanted to keep me in until someone comes in and gets to have a look. So the whole time I'm telling everyone, look, guys, I'm cool. Like, I feel fine. Now we know what it is, that I'll be cool. But everyone's just like, no, I'll be safe. Anything to do with the head, right? Everyone's like, no, be safe, be safe, be safe. So I stayed in there, and then the whole thing just became like an unreal ordeal that just became you can make a whole season of a TV series out of it, really. Seriously. Like, I did a run out, threatened by police, came back, like all sorts of stuff. But then, anyway, long story short, after that, those results were sent to the British Boxing Board. And the Boxing Board said, because of the hematoma, I'd be suspended. My British Boxing Board license would be suspended. So I was like, cool, respectfully, whatever. Just let me know when I can have another test. And then hopefully it comes back fine and we get it cracking. And all along, what I was comfortable with, I came to terms in the hospital when I was there that if this means, if whatever comes out after means that I can no longer box, then I'm happy to embrace that because my health comes first. So already I have the mindset of health being first, partially because unlike most boxers, I've got so many other options in life. I box because I want to and because I like to finish what I start. So I was just like, if I can't, then I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to force it. And then I started traveling, went to Mexico, then America. And then in November 2020, the boxing board said, oh, Umar can have his test now, his MRI scan, so for the brain. So I came back mid-December because it had to be done at a British Boxing Board approved clinic. So I went to the same clinic that I've always gone to renew my license annually. For those who don't know, we have to have an MRI scan of our brain and do a whole medical checkup annually to renew our boxing license. So I went to the same place, had the test and the scan, and I asked them for the results. Usually I don't, but this time I did for obvious reasons. And the report that came back was that there were no abnormalities found. I have a healthy functioning brain and my results are identical to the last 2 times I've gone to the clinic. Now, that says to any logical thinking person, and that means I'm fine. Identical results to the last 2 times you came. But then the British Boxing Board now all of a sudden are saying that they can't open the file format of the scans from Russia. So I'm like, well, I remember sending you photos. I remember sending you everything. But you suspended me based off of the scan. So A, how can't you open it now? But B, if you can't open the file format, that's not on me. Contact the Russian Boxing Federation because I don't know how to contact a Russian hospital to pull up my case file, pull up a result, and then ask them to change the file format, you know? So that's where we've been at for a while now. And it's just getting really frustrating because if your concern is that I'm fit to box and I'm healthy, then the same clinic that you recommended is saying that my results are identical to what they've always been. I feel fine. I'm saying I'm fine. So you've got everything that you need to, even if you're trying to protect yourself against a future lawsuit, you've got enough there to protect yourself. So reinstate my license. But I think a big part of it as well is this COVID thing. So the boxing board, they've got, and a lot of people ain't gonna let me say this, but publicly, but it's true, they've got a very old system that needs to be updated to move the current times. And part of it is because they have things such as, I don't know, a physician comes in once a week on a random day of their own choosing because it's an independent physician, and all the case files that they need to deal with need to be on a desk for them. And anything that misses the desk when they come in that day has to wait till the following week on whichever day they come in, right? And if there are so many cases, then they can only go through so many that day, and then the rest is going to have to wait yet another week, right? And then with COVID, there's less contacts and people going into offices and whatever. So something that could easily take a couple of hours is ending up taking 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So then now you're a month later just to have someone look at something. So there's an element of that, and I understand. But I mean, the British Boxing Board are very quick to talk about how they want to protect fighters and look after fighters' well-being. But then here you have a fighter who's unable to earn a living because you can't be bothered to look at a case file or contact the Russian Boxing Federation and ask the file format that you want. But better yet, you don't even need that because here's the evidence that the box is fine. Why does it matter what he said in Russia? So anyway, back to Mexico. So whilst I'm in America, I'm with Christopher Lovejoy, who's meant to fight David Allen because he's from LA. And then he was talking about, we're going to call it an exhibition in Mexico that was happening 2 weeks from when I was speaking to him. So I was like, oh, that's dope. Like, will I be able to get involved in that? Because it's been a long time since I've been in the ring. So I was like, oh yeah, let me ring my guy. So he rings the guy and I speak to the guy. And the guy was like, yeah, this is what you got to do. We can make it happen. So I was like, cool, sweet. So 2 weeks later, I went out to Mexico, had an exhibition, put on a fantastic display with a first round KO. And then came back, announced it. And now that's something else that the boxing board's got an issue with. But again, my response to that is I'm fit to box. I'm physically, mentally, clinically clear to box. I'm sparring like 3 times a week against world champions and some of the best fighters you've got. I'm clearly fine. I'm articulating myself well here, man. So just give me back my license and let me get on with things. But I don't know. They've got the ideas, and it's really frustrating. I'm keeping my calm now, but it's really frustrating. And I've just gone to a point now where I'm just leaving it to my management to deal with. I had a word with Frank Warren. Last I spoke to him was early last week, and I haven't spoken to him since. When he put an article, there was an article on Boxing Scene where Frank Warren mentioned about an exhibition in Mexico and boxing without being healthy and stuff. But what it was that information wasn't being passed on up to him. So Frank Warren Promotions were aware of what was going on with the board, but Frank himself wasn't. So when I rang him, he was like, "Umar, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Is no one telling you what's happening?" So off the back of that, he said he'll contact the board and see what's happening, but I haven't heard back from him since. So I don't know, man. There is a feeling of it, you want your promoter to back you. You want your promoter to help you deal with things like this, because really that's why you're a partnership. So I'd like to think that he'll deal with it, and if not, then I'm leaving it to my management to deal with. So let's see how that plays out.
Yeah, definitely. Do you feel like you kind of just keep going round and round in circles?
100%. That's why I don't even want to be involved anymore, because it's really frustrating. Because every time, like when you speak to them or you speak to someone, they give you a bit of hope. It's like, oh, it's gonna get past onto this, and then you're like really hopeful. Then you start thinking, so like in February, I'm thinking, oh wow, like I could be fighting in April, because it's February now. If it gets sorted, March, April, latest beginning of May, and then before you know it, it's March and it's end of March. Now it's 2nd of April, and we're still here. So now it's like, when is the next fight? I don't know. But when you go through that repetitively, if you think I haven't had a license since September 2020, the first couple of months were months in which I was like, you know what, it is what it is. I'm happy to accept whatever it is. But since I took that brain scan mid-December and was told I'm fine, ever since, all I've thought is, when am I going to box next? And that's what I've been working to. But I just don't know, man. I don't know how they can say that they look after the fighters' welfare and best interests and all of this, and mental health for the fighters, and let's look after fighters when they're retired and all these things, but your actions contradict it. And I really don't care who are upset by saying this, because nothing I'm saying is a lie. If you don't like the sound of it, then you've got to change it. I always say that to people. If someone told you something factual and you don't like the sound of it, they mean something you've got to change.
How has your mental health been since you've not been given back your license?
Fortunately, I'm incredibly strong mentally. So, I've been fine, but this weekend just gone, actually, for the first time ever, I was just like, what? It felt like the world was crashing in on me. I think because I spoke to Frank last week, he said he was going to be onto it. My management were like hopeful. There were so many things that looked like they were going to work, and then it all just didn't. Then I rang Frank and he didn't pick up. I texted him and he didn't text back. And I was just like, and this weekend gone, I was just like, so what am I doing with life? Like, it's September 2021 is gonna come very soon. And I'm here thinking, it's been 7 months since my last fight, almost. I haven't had a fight since. I don't know when my next fight's gonna be. I'm in the gym all the time training. I'm not earning money. Because I'm staying disciplined, I'm staying consistent, I'm working on. I am getting much better, by the way. Jeez, bloody hell! Like, you watch when I make my comeback. But I'm thinking, all these things. So it's like I'm training all the time. I'm passing opportunities and other things. Like I said earlier, I'm a person who has other options in life. So I model anyway. I do a little bit of acting. These are things I can work on and put attention on. So there's lots of earnings in that area, because I'm in the gym instead of working on that. I studied accounting and entrepreneurship and worked as an accountant, but really it's because I've got a good business mind. There are so many business ventures I could be working on. We're going through some of the most volatile times in in stocks, trading, cryptocurrencies, and all of that. And if you want to be a day trader with a discipline of a boxer, there's a lot of money to be made in the margins and the movement. So there are all these things I'm looking at, and I'm like, I'm passing all of this off, and I don't know how much longer this window of opportunity is going to be open for, especially with the volatility that we have now in the economies. And I was like, I'm doing all of this for boxing, and these MFs are just like, you know, being old school ways about things. And but anyway, long story short, I was just like, what am I doing with life? What on earth is going on? You know, are they even going to give me back my license at this point? Because now they're talking about, you know, my situation in Mexico, whatever. And yeah, this weekend was a really hard one for me to like swallow, because I've never felt so lost in life like I did this weekend. But then I had that moment. I embraced it. I allowed myself to feel the emotions that I was feeling rather than try to suppress them. So, you know, just like all Saturday, I just felt shit. And then Sunday, I woke up and I felt much better because I moved through it. And then I've been back in the gym since. I've been training, sparring, cracking on with things. But, you know, I hate to give up, but I am getting to a point now where I just want to, like, I'm having thoughts like, I wish I had the money to sue them. Like, I would love to just sue them right now for loss of earnings, for everything. And like you said, the mental health and all of that, just sue them, because there's absolutely no reason why they shouldn't be giving me my license right now. But I guess it's stages of going through stuff in it. Just somehow I'm just maintaining the belief and the faith, because I am actually improving so much, so much. So let's see what happens.
I saw you put something out about maybe going into MMA.
Why not? If the boxing board are acting up, MMA could be the place. If Dana White wants to give me a fight, I'll take it on. I know a lot of fighters talk about going into the cage and then they don't, but I'm around a lot of MMA fighters all the time anyway. I'm a natural fighter, man. I think I can fight in any sport, to be honest.
Have you ever done MMA before?
Nah, but I mean, I've played around with people who do jiu-jitsu and whatchamacallit, jiu-jitsu and what's the other one again when you throw people over? Judo. Yeah, judo and jiu-jitsu. I've been around a lot of people who do those. So I'm not saying that, you know, I'm a professional or anything. I'm just saying that I have a basic understanding of what it is, and I think that I could become really good at those things. So who knows?
Yeah, and then it's not like you never get fighters that don't cross over into different sports either.
Exactly.
Take it, man. Opportunity's there.
It's there. So we'll see what's happening. I mean, all I've got to do is see a window of something that looks like it works for me, and then I'll be out there and I'll be doing it.
Just going back to Russia, did you pick up any like Russian phrases or?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well then.
So spasiba, do svidaniya. Do svidaniya is like bye. Spasiba is thank you. Привет is hello.
Oh, I knew that one.
Huh?
I knew that one.
You knew that one, yeah? Yeah, so I picked up a few bits. It's amazing I still remember them, actually.
That's good. You had a good, solid Russian accent as well.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I speak Spanish too, yeah? And when I speak with Latinos, they always say, like, wow, you've got such a good accent. There are a lot of Latinos here. So even two roads away from where I live, there's a bit called the Fashion District. I call it Mexico. Like, literally, like, there are stores that the names of the stores are in Spanish. And then obviously the people inside are Spanish or Hispanic, and Mexicans walking around everywhere. I love it.
Can you give us a little line in Spanish?
¿Qué quieres? Do you speak Spanish?
I haven't done Spanish since I was 16.
Okay, so the next question you ask me, I'll answer it in Spanish and then in English after.
Plans going forward, with and without a license, what are you thinking?
Pues, si tengo una licencia, lo que voy a hacer es pelear en Estados Unidos hasta como agosto, septiembre, como en ese tiempo, y después regresar a Londres para pelear en frente de mis fans. Pero sin licencia, no sé, tengo que pensar. What I said was, with a license, what I'd like to do is have a couple of fights in the United States up until maybe like August or September, where I could come back to London and box in front of my fans. And without a license, I don't know, but we'll just have to see.
So guys, he's a boxer, he's a model, he's an actor, he's bilingual. Is there anything that you can't do?
Get my life back from the boxing board.
That was a good one.
I should make positive affirmations. Get my license back quick enough from the boxing board. Yeah.
How's America been? You're training with Joshua Boaty, aren't you?
No, I went up. So he's also in California, but he's like a 5-hour drive away from me, or an hour on a plane. Yeah. So we would have linked up a lot more, but we're just not that close in proximity. So he wanted some sparring. You know, he's working with Virgil Hunter. So I flew out there to see him for a couple of days, and we sparred a couple of times. That was good. That was very good, actually. He's learning a lot too. Like, there's a lot of growth going on here. It's great to get other perspectives and other inputs into what you're doing, you know. And they're culturally, it's known that people from different parts of the world boxing, you know, typically box in certain ways. So it's really cool to, you know, get to a very good level at where you're at, and then go elsewhere and start picking up the things that you can add to your arsenal from what they do differently, which is really what I'm doing now. So I'm working with a guy called Julian Chua, who is a very young boxing coach, very smart, very cerebral, absolutely loves boxing, lives, breathes, drinks, eats boxing. That's what he does. What his story is he was an Olympic hopeful for 2012, but he kept breaking his hands. So as a result, he just couldn't box anymore because he kept breaking his hands. But he loved boxing so much that he stayed in the gym. So he was at a wildcard gym with Freddie Roach and stuff. So he stayed in and he just started coaching people. And he's a proper nerd for boxing. Like his face glows up when anyone talks to him about boxing. But what that means is he knows his game, right? So he's been doing that for a while, and you know he's served an apprenticeship under Freddie Roach, and now he has his own stable of fighters, which includes Gilberto Ramirez, Regis Prograis. There's a guy called Kareem Hackett who's a light heavyweight. He's really, really good, very, very good boxer. Arnold Gonzalez, another very good boxer. He's got a bunch of few people, and then he's also got some MMA guys that he trains. You know, he's got a couple, and one of them being Marvin Vittori, who I'm sparring a lot. Which is part of why I'm like, you know, maybe we might have something here. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, I'm in the gym with that lot, and there are a few other people that train in the gym. You know, Ray Beltran's there as well. There's some good people there, like good experienced heads. Everyone's like nice, really nice people, very great crowd to be around. Easygoing, humble, but for the most part, really committed to boxing and the science of boxing. So I'm in a great environment where I'm learning a lot, I'm developing a lot. I'm really here with the mindset of, you know, being a novice. And I find when you approach something as an open book, you absorb more. So that's really what I've been doing. I've just been absorbing and absorbing and absorbing. And it's down to learning. So sometimes it's stuff that I've been told to do over and over again. You know, sometimes you might throw a certain shot and you can get told, oh, you've got to throw it harder. It needs to be more impactful. But these guys are breaking down how to do it. And it turns out actually you need less effort to make it harder, you know. And then it's things like decision making. What kind of shots are you throwing? Why are you throwing them? Where are you moving? When are you moving? How are you moving? But actually, how much movement is there? You know, how much movement? So one of the things is stuff like my head movement. There are certain things that I was doing with my head movement that meant even though I was moving my head, I wasn't being as efficient with the head movement as I could have been. And maybe perhaps sometimes I was getting hit even though I was trying to move, but just wasn't quick enough. And then it's just like, wait, you're telling me all I had to do was less, you know? So there are many things. There are many things. And like I said, being around such hungry, talented people, of course, it's going to rub off on you too. And I like to think I'm helping them too in some way and not just taking. So yeah, it's a really good setup. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, you definitely sound like you're in the right place and you've got a really positive outlook.
For sure. Like I said, I just had that day where I needed to feel what I was feeling, because I guess I was suppressing things, you know, for a long time, for months and months and months, and just be like, oh, it's all gonna sort itself out. And then that day I was just like, I just need to just feel these emotions, you know. It's the healthiest way to move on from them. And ever since, I felt fine. I just don't know how much longer I'll feel fine for, but let's see what's up. I'm just trying to detach myself from the daily require or the daily task of getting his license back. So in my head, I've kind of got it. It's like, it's going to take however long it's going to take. Just focus on getting better. Just focus on being the best version of yourself you possibly can be for when it's sorted out. And if it isn't sorted out by, I don't know, but by whenever, then I've got to figure something out. But also, I believe in universal laws and things like that. A lot of people say things like karma, cause and effect. So if I'm honestly and earnestly plowing myself, or plowing my energy into something in an honest manner, then that will never go to waste, because with or without the license, I would reap the rewards of what I'm doing now. And it's not always immediate. It could be, preferably will be, but I just know that going by universal energy and universal laws, I'm doing the right things, and whatever comes at the end of it is going to be in my favor. So just keep it cracking.
Definitely. Hopefully with Frank's influence, they'll speed it up a little bit quicker for you as well. Would you like to add anything before we round up?
For those who know me and have been watching it this far, or this interview this far, thank you very much for being so interested in my story and supporting. And for those who have just heard me for the first time or are seeing me for the first time, again, thank you for watching this far. And I hope you've got enough of an insight into who I am and what I do, who I am as a boxer, to make you be interested enough in my story to keep watching. And also to feel free to go and check out other stuff that I do, my social medias and my YouTube channel and that sort of stuff, and just have a look and see what I'm about. And hopefully you like it and it's a story that you're interested in. And I look forward to getting my license back and delivering on some very great nights of boxing.
Definitely. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you. Thank you for taking the time out today before training. I know you athletes are busy people, hard to pin down. Can you round off for us in Spanish?
Okay. Gracias para vernos. Fue un placer de tener ustedes aquí. Lo que haces o lo que tienes que hacer ahora es subscribe. ¿Sí? Subscribe. Is this kind of YouTube? Sorry. Yeah. Tienes que suscribir y gustar a este video, y también sígueme en Instagram, Twitter, Top Boxer Sadiq. Muchas gracias. Fue un placer.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to our channel as we have plenty more exclusive interviews, documentaries, and much more coming your way.